Alright, hello. What I'm going to try today is my interpretation, or my best effort at making Charlie's Chinese chicken fingers. So what I've got here, on the left hand side is the dry ingredients, on the right hand side is the wet ingredients. We've got 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup here of cornstarch. We've also got a tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 cup of flour for the end, half teaspoon of garlic powder, which you can put into taste or not leave out at all, 1 teaspoon of salt, and black pepper. And the wet ingredients, we have 1 cup of water, I use filtered water, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and 1 egg. So we start the process with a mixer. Drop in 1 egg. Then to that egg, we're going to add 1 cup of flour. Actually, no, the first thing I'm going to add is the cornstarch. 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Lower the mixer. Lift the mixer. Start this on low. Begin to incorporate. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Incorporate. I'm going to whip it. Down a little bit, I'll add the flour slowly, turn this down, slowly incorporate the flour, the rest of the water, add the garlic powder, salt, pepper. Once this gets combined, we'll raise it up a little bit and mix it thoroughly. And you've got to occasionally wipe the sides to make sure it all gets incorporated. Now it's mixing for a little while, just trying to make sure it's nice and smooth. At this point, I'm going to lower the speed. I'm going to add the rest of the flour to thicken it up. Three tablespoons of oil. Get this incorporated. I'm going to add the baking powder. Now earlier I prepared some chicken by creating a little marinade with some garlic, salt, pepper, a few other things, some soy sauce, and some water to kind of almost brine the chicken so it gets nice and thick. So I've now prepared the batter. It's a little thinner than I think I might want it. I can always change that recipe up later if I need to. It's actually fairly thick. I just pour the batter right on top of the chicken in the bowl. So now I've got my station set up. I've got my chicken in the batter. I'm going to just mix this up. I've got my oil heated to 375 degrees. I've got a draining station right here. And what I'm going to do is use my candy thermometer to make sure the temperature is exactly at 375. Once it reaches 375 degrees, I'm going to add the chicken until it coats. Once the outside edges of the batter is sealed, I'm going to place it on the rack and fry it twice to make it nice and crispy. Now different oils have different smoke points. With vegetable oil like this is just all-purpose kind of regular vegetable oil. You can go around 375 degrees. If you keep it to that, you'll get these little black burn pieces that will fall off. I cooked some crab rangoon earlier, but the oil itself shouldn't turn discolored. Now what I'm going to do here when I add these, instead of pinching with my finger, I'm going to try this trick, see if it works. Stick it with a skewer, dip it, and drop it in. Stick it with a skewer, drop it in. See if I can catch that on tape. Skewer, try to get up all that sauce. Drop it in. I'm just going to do these a few at a time, keep the heat temperature up in the oil. Once it gets cooking in there, I'm going to steam up my screen. Just keep it moving. Flip it over. Now what can happen here, the temperature's right in the oil. What you'll get is a nice golden brown rather than a burned black color. Now this is already sealed, so I'm going to take it out, set it on the cooling rack, drain it, let it cool for a second, and continue on. Now as you're cooking these, you're going to get these little pieces right here, these little crispy pieces that fall off. I'm sure they might taste nice, but if you leave them in the oil, it's going to burn. So once we got a few of these done, now see these are kind of sealed up nice. They're not totally done by any stretch of the imagination, but they've sealed. Made a nice hard coat on the outside. And I'm going to clean the grease, and I'll re-add that in until they're golden brown, cooking at 375. You want to make sure when you put the chicken in that you're not putting in too much. It overloads the grease and it'll lower the temperature. You want to make sure you're cooking it around 375 degrees, not less than 350. That can make your chicken oily. I turned my temperature up to sear for a minute to bring the heat up. Keep it at 375. I'll check it with a candy thermometer. They've been cooking for a little while now. We want to cook it around 5 minutes or so, 5 to 7 minutes. They become golden brown. They're getting close now. The reason why I marinated the chicken in that marinade / brine wasn't only to impart flavor, but it was also to ensure that we could cook the chicken until it was done and still have it juicy inside. We'll see how that works out in a few minutes. So I'm going to take these out once they're done, place them on the cooling rack, and then put those ones there that were started to cook back in to golden them up. Let's see how they taste. So I took one out as a test. I want to cut it and see if it's cooked all the way through. Oh yeah, plenty done. Looks delicious, nice and crispy. And now I'm starting the second batch. That batch is cooled down, ready for people to eat. I don't know about you guys, but that's my favorite kind of chicken finger, I mean. When you get those little crispy pieces like this. Done inside. Nice and moist on the outside. Put that with some duck sauce. Money. So I'm cooking the chicken in stages for two reasons. One, when you fry it, let the crust kind of dry out and then fry it again. It kind of has a tendency to make it crispier. You'll notice that's a secret with French fries as well. So you want really crispy French fries, fry them twice. Fry them till they're half done, then turn the heat up, fry them the rest of the way. What I'm doing right now, taking out all these chunks of stuff. I'm going to let that cool for a couple seconds, then I'll put all those guys back in the tub for a good party, and cook the rest of them up. I've found for me the easiest way to do that, if you're not using a traditional deep fryer, is to slowly place them in the basket, drop them like that. You want to keep these things moving, make sure they don't stick, flip them over every once in a while. You're really cooking these for about 5 minutes. The chicken is so thin inside that doesn't take that long to cook. I got some over here. They just cooked up. See the inside? Inside's nice and juicy. You see that glistening? Nice and juicy, but it's not overdone. It's not pink. So when you're done, you should be left with something that looks a little bit like this. Just add a little bit of your favorite duck sauce. This isn't my favorite, just the closest Chinese restaurant to me. Now that tastes good. By themselves, they don't taste all that much like a Chinese restaurant chicken wing, chicken finger, sorry. But with a little duck sauce, they're nice and crispy and good, homemade, fresh. You know what's in them, no MSG, nothing weird, no feline parts. Anyway, that's my shot. Try it if you'd like, tweak it, leave some comments. Thanks.